Yes, Casanovians. Alright, boys, I want to document some wins from the Entourage. If you don't know what the Entourage is, then the Entourage is my private network for high achievers who want to absolutely crush it with cold approach. Guys who want to get dates on demand with gob-smackingly gorgeous girls, live a top 1% dating life, become the most fuckable version of themselves, and connect with other like-minded guys. So a big problem that I noticed when I first got into the cold approach space was there was a lack of community, or certainly a lack of good community. So I've took it upon myself to build the best network in the world for guys who want to crush it with cold approach and also connect with other high achieving individuals, because I think when we surround ourselves with winners, we win. So if you want to join us, there's a link below. And yeah, I just want to talk to you about some stories that have come out of the Entourage lately. So one of the guys who I coached in London before I flew out to Bangkok, he met this amazing woman in a bookshop. Cosmic connection, they had about a 20-minute conversation inside of a bookshop. And dude, this was an approach that he almost bailed on. Like, we went into this bookshop in central London near Covent Garden, and we go into the bookshop and it's deadly quiet, like deadly quiet. And he's all set to run away from the approach. Like, dude, I can't do that. It's too quiet in here. People are gonna be able to listen to the conversation. I'm just like, dude, listen, wait for the moment. A moment will arise. Marinate in the moment. Spend this time under tension. Dive bomb into the discomfort, and then the opportunity came about. He went over, he had a conversation. The two of them hit it off immediately, speaking to her for about 20 minutes. They met up the following day for a date, had a wonderful, magical evening together, and now she's hopping on a flight to come and see him again in London. She's hopping on like a 2-hour flight to come and see him because the two of them had such a cosmic connection. I think that's hitting the cold approach jackpot. You walk into a bookshop, big set of balls, you see a woman who you like, you go over to her, you get the details, you go on a date the next day, and now they've got this beautiful love story going on. Like, dude, I don't know about you, but that's the whole reason why I got into cold approach in the first place. It was to have these Hollywood-esque moments where it's like, you see a girl, you sweep her off her feet, and you become part of this private bubble of seduction where it's like you and her versus the world. And I just think that's beautiful. I don't think you get this sort of cosmic connection on dating apps or nights out, or try to strategically get women through your social circle, or trying to mass DM 100 women a day like some little simp. Like, cold approach is the decentralized skill set of the awake 1%, meaning that once you've unlocked this skill, you can unlock a dating life that most men never get to experience. It's like, you can be anywhere in the world, anywhere, anytime, see a woman, be like, hey, you're fucking amazing, let's go on a date. And then if she likes you as much as you like her, it's flirty fucking fireworks. So yeah, just big shout out to that first Entourage member. I think it's incredible what can be created. It's like just being able to create something out of nothing. And I hope that these stories fuel you who's watching. Like, maybe you're right at the start of your cold approach journey right now. Maybe you've got a lot of self-limiting beliefs. Maybe you're battling with that perceived lack of self-worth. Maybe you think that no matter what you do, you're never going to be good enough for anybody. Understand that you're only ever one great approach away from everything changing. If the guy in question hadn't gone into the bookshop, if he hadn't have listened to my advice, if he hadn't have been pushed into that approach and been told, listen, dude, wait for the moment, you're going to get a moment, and when that moment comes, capitalize on the moment, then none of that would have happened. But you're only ever one great approach away from your entire life changing, in the same way that when you're running a business, you're only ever one sales call away from your entire business exploding. I just think that's amazing. I think that's magical, and I think that's incredible that we can walk out of our house at any moment once we've unlocked this skill, and we could meet the love of our life. Like, we could meet the future mother of our children. I don't think that guys really understand how powerful this skill is, but also I think that too many guys think way too short term with cold approach. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go out Saturday, did I get any numbers, did I get any dates? Oh no, I didn't, so this isn't working. Thinking long term, yeah? Like, this skill set, once you've unlocked it, think of the long-term impact it's going to have on your life. Imagine what sort of women you're going to be able to attract. Like the fact that you are putting the reps in right now and investing into that identity, becoming the version of you who's capable of attracting that wife-worthy woman. You have no idea where this skill is actually going to take you. Like, I was speaking with this about Daniel yesterday. Like, learning this skill set is directly linked to your ability to replicate your DNA. Like, just let that sink in for a moment. Like, learning this skill of cold approach, learning the art of seduction, learning the art of face-to-face communication is directly linked to your ability to procreate. It's directly linked to your capability of attracting that wife-worthy woman, finding that woman who one day you're going to have children with. Most guys don't think like this in this space. Most guys are just looking at notches, empty lays. Oh, need to get my lay count up, need to get my notch count up. It's like, it's such a juvenile way of viewing this whole thing. And I don't make content for these weird pickup artists, these fucking losers who just go parading around the pavement, accusing every woman of being French, because they're so insecure and they hate themselves so much that they need salvation in the feminine. It's like, I'm teaching guys how to get to a place where they fucking like themselves, where they're operating from a place of wholeness rather than from a place of lack. Beautiful women are simply a beautiful byproduct of a beautiful life. So the bookshop approach, 10 out of 10, loved it. And then another story that is, it really made me smile today. I got a voice message from one of our guys from the USA who I coached out in Stockholm a couple of months ago. So he smashed his Stockholm immersion out the park, overcame his approach anxiety, meeting women, going on dates, having magical experiences. And then what's important for me is, are you going to replicate the results on home soil? And fuck me, he did. He hit the ground running on home soil, goes back to the United States, and he wanted to maintain that momentum. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why when you work with me, you don't just get the in-person. You get dedicated support for an entire year. Like, I'm in your corner. You can message me, we can hop on a phone call, part of the community, so you've got that non-negotiable kick up the arse accountability to make sure that you're not just successful for a weekend, you're successful for life. I hope that makes sense. So he gets back to the United States, goes out there, starts talking to some women, meets this beautiful woman, and the two of them just hit it off immediately. They have a date and then go back to his place and have a magical evening together. But the reason why I like this story so much is this guy flew out to meet me in Stockholm, then returned to the United States of America, replicating the result he had with me in Stockholm back on home soil. And that really demonstrates the effectiveness of what I teach. The coaching that I do is ruthlessly effective because I don't want him to just be successful in Stockholm. I want him to be successful everywhere that he goes to. And evidence has got the loudest voice. He crushed it in Stockholm and now he's crushing it back in the United States because of the tools that I've equipped him with. So if you're completely new to this, then I want these stories to inspire a shitload of optimism, right? These guys, they were just like you. Yeah, they started off as complete beginners. They didn't know what they didn't know. They had those self-limiting beliefs. They were grappling with that perceived lack of self-worth. They thought, oh, no matter what I do, I'm never going to be able to get anywhere with this. Like, the guy who I coached out in Stockholm, he was in Scandinavia last year. He went to Oslo, and for the life of him, he couldn't bring himself to approach. He just couldn't do it on his own. And that's normal. Like, try to do this on your own is almost impossible. Like, I wasn't able to do it all on my own. I spent a decade practicing as a magician. So I had a decade of social experience. I still needed mentors. I still needed to get coached. I still needed to have somebody to hold my hand through this process. I got coached by Daniel, who is the guy who films my videos. He also is part of my coaching team as well. You're not gonna do this on your own, right? It's like going to the gym, having no idea how to lift any weight. You don't know what you don't know. You're shooting in the dark. And look, sure, you might be able to work it out, but how long is that gonna take you? And I think for a lot of guys, especially the guys who want my content, you don't have the time to piss away. You want it now, you want the skills now, and you want to be able to ingrain this into muscle memory so you can just unleash the skill whenever and wherever. So my best advice to you, go out, try it on your own, see how it feels. Just go out with the intention of making people feel beautiful, making people smile, making people have a better day. And then when you're ready to actually take this shit to the moon, when you're actually serious about becoming top 1% with this skill set, then that's what I make these videos for. This is content marketing. I'm attempting to sell you things. Welcome. Welcome to this free YouTube ad. It's content marketing. Yeah, I'm trying to get you into my network because I know what I'm sat on is absolute gold. It's like if I had imagine I was sat on penicillin back in the day. Yeah, I wouldn't just keep that to myself. You know, if I just invented penicillin, I'm gonna shout about it from the rooftops. It's like Bitcoin in 2008. I'm like, dude, you need to get on this right now. Fucking penicillin, Bitcoin, let's go. So yeah, if you resonate with me, like what I do, and you want to take this shit to the moon, you're sick of swiping your life away on a screen, you're not attracting the women that you want, you're not making the sort of money that you want, you're not living the sort of lifestyle that you want, that's why I make these videos. So yeah, there's a link below if you want to join us. You're not just going to be connecting with me, but you're going to be connecting with my global network of like-minded legends, high achievers from all across the world who you can network with, talk about business with, philosophy, guys who you can cold approach with, guys who you can travel the world with, go to the gym with, go out for dinner with. Like, the days of the perpetual lone wolf are over. Yeah, if you're still parading around the pavement all on your own with no feedback, no accountability, and no masculine support network, you're going to burn out eventually. You're going to get to that point where you're like, fuck this, I'm just going to go on dating apps, or I'm just going to become another little simp who swipes his life away. So the Entourage is the truth, the Entourage is the answer, and the Entourage fucking works. So yeah, link below if you want to join us. If not, you can download my free courses. You're going to join us eventually, so you might as well do it now. And I will speak with you boys again tomorrow. Mwah!